Here we go. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. You guys know by the title what this video is about. I just want to tell you guys my story. I want to get it all out there and share with you guys what has happened to baby number 4. Hopefully somebody that's gone through a similar thing or is going through it can relate. So before I get into that, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for the support and love that I got over the gender reveal videos, and I've just had so many amazing people congratulate us, just be there with us on the journey, sharing our joy. I'm so grateful for all the new subscribers, so thank you guys so much for joining in on this journey. So here we are, as part of the journey, through the highs and lows, through living in community with one another, whether it's near or far, whether it's YouTube or whether it's in person. This is part of the deal, and this is just doing life together. I'm a firm believer in sharing the ups and downs with one another and sharing in our experiences so that we can support one another. So as you guys can tell by the title, I have had a miscarriage. I had something called a blighted ovum, and I'll go into details a little bit more on what that's about. I want to kind of recap the story and also really give an explanation as to why it was found to be a girl, because that's a little bit of a confusing situation too. I thank the Lord that I was able to find out a week prior to everything happening, so it didn't just like hit me out of the blue. I knew it was coming and I could kind of mentally prepare myself for it. But I've spent these last few weeks just like praying and crying and processing. Personally, this is just how I kind of get through life, is just like trusting that the Lord has something really amazing for me. And so when all of this took place, I didn't once feel mad at God, because I totally know that the Lord, this just isn't God's heart. God's heart is not death, it's not sickness for any of us, and I know He's a good God, and I know He only has good things for us. So I didn't feel angry at God that this happened. I felt very disappointed that I had had this dream and I was preparing for it, and I just kind of felt like it was ripped away and it was taken away, and so suddenly. It was a hard kind of few weeks to process, to get through, and occasionally I still have my moments of like, why me? Although miscarriage is a very, very common thing to happen, and turns out that this situation of mine actually amounts to like 50% of miscarriages, so it's more common than I think. And in some cases I'm quite grateful that I've experienced this so that I can be more empathetic to the women that have, and so I've just been able to reach out to some people that have gone through miscarriages, talk about it, just go through the grieving with them. So I want to take you guys back to before we shot that gender reveal video. It's kind of a struggle to even look back on that video. I even said to my husband, I feel like I'm cheating all these subscribers. Like, should I take it down? Or I'm not quite sure what to do with it, because I kind of feel like it's a bittersweet thing for me, where I had these 2 weeks of being on cloud 9 from knowing I was having a girl, and I was so excited, and that video kind of brings everything up. So I don't know if I should get rid of it, or I just feel like just so many people have connected with me through it, so it's really special in a way as well. I want to take you guys back to around that same week. It was week 8 of my pregnancy, and that was the week that we had the gender blood test done to find out what the baby was. I think on the Tuesday I went in to see my midwife for my first prenatal appointment. She checked everything looked fine. She took my blood, she took my bloods for the DNA testing, all of it. And when it came to time to hearing the baby's heartbeat, we couldn't hear it. I didn't think too much of it at the time, because I know the baby's still really tiny, and I was like, well, it's nothing to worry about, it's fine. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, that feels weird for me. I have had 3 perfectly healthy babies with no hiccups, no problems, and it's not normal for me not to hear the heartbeat even at 8 weeks. Come back in 2 weeks time and we'll try and hear it again. That's totally cool. I didn't worry. Those 2 weeks I was just waiting in anticipation. I was very excited, because I feel like that heartbeat is like, not the home stretch, but that heartbeat is like solidifies that everything's okay, and you feel a little bit more at peace. I shot the baby, the gender reveal video, we found out what the baby was. Went back 2 weeks later, so 10 weeks I would have been. I went back and we tried to hear for the heartbeat again, and we couldn't hear it. And I was just like, this just doesn't feel right. Like, something in my gut and my heart didn't even feel right. To be honest, looking back on it now, the whole pregnancy just didn't feel right. felt like I wasn't pregnant, and I kept taking tests because I just wasn't convinced. Even saying to Isaac, honey, I'm not even convinced that I'm pregnant. Like, I don't feel pregnant. And with my other 3 boys, I felt pregnant. Like, I was very sick. I had so much acne, like I was tired, like the whole shebang. This last pregnancy, something felt a little bit off. I was just hoping that I got lucky, but I did worry that something wasn't quite normal. I felt it in my gut that something wasn't quite right. 10 weeks I go in to hear the heartbeat again, and we can't hear it, and I'm thinking, this is weird. Like, I usually can hear my babies really early on. My midwife again didn't worry. She said to me, if you want I can send you home with an extra Doppler that I have, so maybe you can try and hear it at home, or here are some contacts to go in for an ultrasound. And I was like, okay, well, I'll take the Doppler. I got home, I was frantic about trying to hear the heartbeat, still couldn't hear it at home, and I was just like, well, I'm not trained to hear it, so I don't know what I'm listening for. And then I even sent my midwife like a video, like a sound of what I thought was the heartbeat, but it was just my heartbeat, so clearly I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I was like, I'm not feeling right about this. I'm not feeling settled. I'm going to go in for an ultrasound, I think. So I called a couple of places. One place I couldn't get in touch with, and the other one I could. I told her my situation. I said, I need to know what's going on. I need to at least see that there's a baby, hear that the baby's okay, everything. And she said, okay, well, I could fit you in tomorrow, or you could come in tonight at 5 o'clock. And I was like, oh geez, I have all 3 kids with me. Like, I was at home alone. My husband was at work, and I said, is it okay? Can I bring my kids? Like, is it kid friendly? And she was like, yeah, there's toys and there's a couch. And I was like, okay, sweet. Like, my kids are not badly behaved. They'll be okay. So I took all 3 boys in. I regret that now, obviously, because you never think that something's wrong, and I was very excited. I put all the kids in the car, and I was like, guys, we're gonna go hear the baby's heartbeat, and then we're gonna pick up dinner afterwards, and it was all very exciting, all of that. So we went in, the lady was so lovely. She was very patient with the kids. She was really sweet. It was a very intimate setting. It was only her and I and the boys, and it was just very personal, safe, and she was very, very sweet. So I'm grateful for that there was somebody that was dealing with me that was compassionate towards the situation. And I laid down on the bed, and she got her little scanner out and was looking around for the baby, and she said, can you go and empty your bladder and then come back and we'll see if we can see it. And I was like, okay, sweet. So I go back in, and she's still looking around for it, and I'm watching the screen, and I don't see anything on the screen. She's still moving it around, and she just kind of says, I don't see a baby, there's nothing there. And I was thinking, what? Like, I'm thinking in my head, are you telling me I'm crazy? Like, there's a baby there, I'm pregnant, I'm getting big positive pregnancy tests, my belly's growing, all of it. Like, why are you telling me I'm not pregnant? And she goes, what it looks like you've got is a blighted ovum. She said, how far along did you say you were? I said, I'm meant to be 10 weeks. And she said, well, all you've got here is a sac, and it's measuring at 8 weeks. There is no baby in it. And I couldn't, first of all, I couldn't believe what she was saying, because I felt like I didn't even know it was a thing, to be honest. And it was like one of those out-of-body experiences where everything beside me, my kids were going wild at this point, and it all just kind of blurred. Like, all I could focus on was trying to hear what she was saying, hoping that she was wrong, hoping that she would correct it, and all my kids were just going wild on the side of me, and I couldn't quite get a grasp of what she was saying. I was really fixated on it, like, tell me more, because I'm really confused that this is even a thing. You know, like, tell me more, because most of the people that I've talked to about this don't know what it is. I ended up feeling really sorry for her, because I'm sitting there completely blank, and she has to keep telling me over and over, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I'm completely like dumbfounded that this is even possible. She said what happens is that an egg gets fertilized, it implants, but because of chromosome abnormalities, I always get that word wrong, abnormalities, the egg doesn't grow. So in the end, what you end up with is a big sac that will eventually stop growing, and no baby, and no like placenta or anything. So your body is still producing all the HCG hormone that it would if you were pregnant. You still feel pregnant, you look pregnant, and eventually you will pass the sac, so you will miscarry what's in there. Whew. And I was just like, I don't even know how to put it into words. I was so shocked. That's the only word I can describe. I was shocked. I was just like, that's not possible. You know, like I have been pregnant for these last 10 weeks and all of a sudden you're telling me I'm not. Guys, this sounds really bad, but one of my first thoughts were like, how can that be? I told everybody I'm having a girl. And it sounds stupid, but that's kind of the reality when you put your life out on YouTube. I am worried about what other people think because I'm like, I've told everybody I'm having a daughter. I'm beyond excited. I've already gone out shopping for her. Like, I'm thrilled about this. You're telling me that's not there. Nothing against her. She was honestly the sweetest lady ever. And I said to her, I'm so sorry that you have to do this as a job. Like, I feel really bad for you because you have to tell people this and that would be a really hard job. So I kind of like composed myself and I was like, okay, well, Isaac's not here. I don't really know what to do with this. I'm just gonna keep like trucking along and doing what I need to do as a mom of 3 and get the kids in the car. And they were all going wild at this point because it's dinner time and they're getting scratchy and all of that. I was kind of able to make some like uncomfortable jokes about it and just get the kids in the car and just get out of there. The kids were just going wild in the car. That's all I remember. I was so zoned out and in a daze. You and your space and how you're thinking is just so broken and confused and sad that you just don't even know what to think. You don't even know how to function because you're just thinking this isn't meant to happen to me. I've had 3 perfectly healthy baby boys. This doesn't, I've never had any miscarriages. This doesn't happen to me. And I was like, I've got to call Isaac. Like, I've got to talk to him. I kept trying to call him. It was about a 15-minute drive home and I kept trying to get in touch with him and I couldn't. And in my moment of just being completely zoned out, a car pulled out and almost hit me on the side of my car that my babies were on, and it was one of those moments I didn't even stop to register to honk my horn because it was this really abrupt like near collision, and I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, I can't deal with like being told I'm gonna miscarry and get hit by a car. Like, this is craziness, what's going on right now. And so I was just frantically trying to call Isaac the whole way home and I couldn't get in touch with him until the last minute where I was deciding whether to keep driving forward or get off at my exit. And I managed to call him and he said, what's up? And I said, he said, are you okay? And I said, no. And he said, what's wrong? And I just said, there's no baby. And I just like burst into tears. And he was like, what? He said, I'm coming home right now, because he was planning to work late. He was like, I'm coming home. So he came home. I just sat in the car when I got in the driveway and I just like processed it all and tried to take it in, even though it was like too much to even take in, and I just had to deal with the kids at the same time. So like I got all the kids in the house and they were all starting going wild and I just wanted to like curl up because I just didn't even know what to do with myself. That was the Tuesday leading up to the Sunday, and I was basically told that I was going to miscarry eventually. I was going to pass whatever was in there. I'm going to get really stuck like talking about this now because I feel like I'm just reliving it and it's not fun, but I do really want to get it out there. And I thought, well, that's not my God, you know, and I'm like spend the whole week praying and worshiping. Guys, I have had some amazing worship music get me through these last few weeks, and I will link it down below. It's Maverick City, and I've been so thrilled just to be like, you got my back, God, like life sucks but you're still awesome. So where was I? Okay, so that was the Tuesday and I was told I was going to miscarry whatever was in there, and I was thinking, well, that's fine, but I know there's a baby in there, you know, in my denial stage, and I'm going to go in for another ultrasound and it'll be perfect, it'll be fine. And we had already scheduled another ultrasound for Monday, so I had to cancel that because on Sunday I miscarried everything. I was even debating whether to talk about this, but I think it's necessary just to get the nitty gritty out there, because I feel like even if you haven't had a miscarriage, it kind of helps you understand what happens when you miscarry. And in my case, there was no baby to miscarry, so in a sense there was a little bit more comfort in knowing that, like there was something in it where Isaac and I didn't get attached. Everybody said to me, have you named the baby? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And I was kind of like, you know, I feel like something in my heart never got attached to this pregnancy from the very beginning. I always felt like something was a bit off, so I didn't get attached, which is so weird. I got attached to the dream and the idea of having a daughter, and that was the biggest letdown. But in terms of the baby itself, so I feel like part of me didn't didn't grieve that as much as I've grieved the idea of the loss, if that makes sense. It's a really hard thing to describe. TMI, if you don't want to know about this, please turn off, okay? I am pre-warning you. If you don't want to know, or you're squeamish to any of this, or you don't even want to know about like what goes on with a miscarriage or me or whatever, you're not into it, please turn it off. Come Sunday morning, I told my closest friends that week what I was told, and I had one particular friend, Ashley. She's so near and dear to my heart, and she's just been such a great support throughout this whole thing and just throughout my time of being here in the States. She's just been awesome. Ash texted me in the morning on Sunday and she said, do you want me to come and get the boys to take them to church? And I was, at the time I was like, no, I got this. You know, there's part of you that just kind of wants to back up and be like, I've got this, like, I'm okay. And then there's this other part of me that's like, Joe, just let your guard down, like, be vulnerable. This is what you're about. This is what you promote. This is who you want to be. You want to be transparent. You want to just be real. You want to be a real person. And when crap happens, that's your moment to be real and to allow other people into your life to walk it out with you. So she texted me about the boys and I was like, yeah, you know, that would be really good. I didn't know what was going to happen that Sunday, but I felt crampy and I was like, is this it? Like, I don't know what's going on. And then out of nowhere I would start getting contractions, and I'm talking about full-term labor contractions. I know what they feel like. I've had 3 babies. And it's the kind of pain that comes on really gradually and then it releases, stops, and then it comes on again, and you've just got to prepare yourself and breathe through it. It was painful and I was like moaning, and at one point Isaac ran to the room and he said, was that you moaning? Like, are you okay? And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not okay. Like, I feel like I'm having contractions. Like, I'm not sure what's happening. I just had Isaac with me and I, at one point, was kind of hunched over again. This is TMI, guys. I was hunched over on the bed and I felt and heard this like pop, because I was expecting this crazy gush of blood, right? Because I didn't know much about miscarriage and I thought, well, it's all just going to bleed out at once and it'll be done. I went to the bathroom and what came out was like nothing I've ever seen before. It was literally, it wasn't even a clot. It was like a big chunk of bloody tissue and it just came out. I was like, this is crazy. I've had blood clots and everything, but this is like on another level, right? And so I was like, well, maybe that's the end of it. Looking back on it now, I feel like I was taken care of. I wasn't out and about, I was at home. And so I was like, well, maybe that's it. But I kept having the contractions and the pain. I went out into the living room and I was literally hunched over in pain, like, oh my gosh. I remember saying to Isaac, why does this hurt so much? And I said, can you rub my back? And I remember feeling the same way that I did when I was in labor with my other 3 boys. And so he was like behind me, like rubbing my back and just being with me. And every so often I have to go to the bathroom to get rid of another piece of tissue. So it was this process. It went on for a couple of hours, maybe only even an hour. It wasn't very long, but it was labor over again. It was really traumatizing to go through it. In a strange way, relief, because there's this thing in your head where it brings closure, where you're like, I've miscarried. I was told I was going to do it, and that's it, I've miscarried. So it's this weird mixture of trauma, confusion, disappointment, but relief. And it was this weird thing because I'm a real people person. I love people, I love being with people. And it was a really hard thing to explain to my husband because he's all party, and normally I am too. But I just said to him, I can't be around people right now. I don't know why, but I feel like there's something in me that just kind of wants to not see anybody and just get through this by myself, but in an okay way. This made me very, very grateful for my babies, particularly Easton, because Easton was born only last year. No, not last year, the previous year. He's about 15 months now. And I was so grateful for him. I just woke up feeling the sense of loss and disappointment, but overwhelming gratitude, and on another level that I haven't before, because I thought, I'm so blessed that I've had 3 healthy babies, and this hasn't happened before to me. I believe it's not going to happen again. So just touching on how we came to the conclusion that it was a girl. We did the blood test sneak peek. I did it through my midwife, so she took a lot of blood. I was very trusting that it would come out very accurate, and I did talk to her about it, and the conclusion is that that blood test picks up a fetal DNA and a maternal DNA, and basically it did pick up that the sperm that fertilized the egg was a girl's sperm. I kind of thought that it might not have picked up any DNA because it was just me, because I'm just female obviously, but my midwife said that it picked up on a girl sperm. That's why the conclusion was that it would have been a girl baby had it grown. So guys, that is my miscarriage story. It feels really nice just to talk about it, to get it out there, to connect with you guys, because like I said, this is what I'm about, this is who I want to be, just somebody that pursues relationship, connection with people. So thank you again to all my new subscribers. I'm so happy to have you guys, and whatever comes out of this, I know I'm really grateful, and I hope that you stick around for it, because I'm going to let you guys in, but we are trying again. Bring on the bring on the triplet girls, you know, so I'm believing for something awesome. So yeah, I'm feeling good, I feel hopeful, I have my moments of feeling bummed, and then I'm just like, it happened. It's okay, let's just keep going. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please join me in my next video.